Blackboard Learn orientation for My Courses users. For those of us who used to use the My Courses functionality of the ConnectU platform, the new Blackboard system presents some unique challenges and some unique opportunities. And so this training is going to cover how would we set up this new Blackboard Learn system to function just like the previous system did of My Courses. So we're going to walk through the different steps that need to, one, streamline a Blackboard Learn shell that you're going to get to reduce down to the functionality that we used to have in the previous system. If we don't need all the bells and whistles of the new one, we're just going to bring that down. And next, do some basic walkthroughs of how do you use the features inside of Blackboard Learn just like we used to in My Courses. So first off, let's go ahead and take a look. So inside of ConnectU, if we had My Courses, if you go there now, you're going to see that there is an indicator saying that My Courses is no longer available. And what this means is that we're going to be using a new platform of Blackboard Learn. In our previous system, when we went inside of one of our My Courses, we had a variety of tools that we were able to use. And these included things like a home page and announcements, a place to upload files. We could use message boards and email, chat, and a variety of different options inside of here. For the most part, the most commonly used tools were boiled down to uploading files. So if we were able to come in here, we could see that we had files that we could upload, and it was a simple process of adding a file and selecting it and putting it up there. And then we could have all of our files listed out. One of the downsides of this platform was every time we moved from one semester to another, we had to do that whole process again and re-upload all of the files each semester. We also have the ability to email all of our different students from one shot. We can just go ahead and shoot those out, and when they would respond, it would actually come back to our actual email address, so our Exchange account would come back into there, as opposed to being confined to the My Courses area. Would go to our actual email. We could make announcements and a variety of different options in here. But these being the key ones of files and email, those are the ones we're going to highlight inside of the new system. So inside of the new system, the first thing that you need to do is you need to go ahead and make sure that you have selected a course for the new system. So it doesn't appear automatically like it used to in My Courses. These would just be there whenever we would log in. In the new system, you have to make sure that you have told the system to generate a shell for you. And to do this, we'll click on My Services and then go to My Services Registration again. And at the very bottom, you'll see a Blackboard Learn migration. Click on Set Up Your Course and then follow the prompts from here. If you need more detailed information on this, there's another tutorial, and this is on sites.msudenver.edu/etc. I'll say that again, sites.msudenver.edu/etc. And it is selecting your course for migration, and this does an entire walkthrough of the steps you need to do to go ahead and select your course. So once you've done that, that takes just a short period of time, and then your course will appear inside of Blackboard Learn. So let's go ahead and pop over to Blackboard Learn. And the way to get there is we're no longer going to be getting there by going to the My Courses area. So we're not going to go to My Courses and then click on the course and pop in there. We're going to be going to msudenver.blackboard.com. msudenver.blackboard.com, and that's the way that we're going to be logging into this new system. And for here, it's going to be our regular username that we use to get into any of our other systems here, but the password may be different. So if this is your first time logging in, you're going to want to look at the very bottom here and click on the Look Up Your Initial Blackboard Learn Username and Password. For more detailed information on this, there's a tutorial over on the sites.msudenver.edu/etc. area, and if you scroll down, you're going to see that there is a login tutorial. So if we come back down here to logging in, you'll see a login tutorial, and this actually walks through the entire process of how to get your initial password and login information. So you can go ahead and there should be some links down here below that you can click on those, and that'll pull up how to log in. So once you have your username and password, you're going to go ahead and log in. Inside of this new system, there's a lot of information that gets thrown at us, and it can be kind of confusing. But really, the first time we ever logged into My Courses, there's a lot of information and channels and things going on here as well. We've just gotten used to them over time. So as I look at the new system, let me show you what's going on. And we can really filter out a lot of this other information, the to-do and a lot of these other channels that are hovering over here on the side. And what I want you to concentrate on is this center row here, and this is where our courses live. The first thing that you're going to see is that you have been enrolled in a few training courses, 00 Blackboard training and Blackboard training practice courses. These are courses where you can go and you can experiment as much as you want, play around, break things, no harm, no foul. The development shell is completely empty and you can do anything you'd like. The practice course is set up so that you actually have some fake students in there and fake assignments, and you can go into the grade center and do grading and all sorts of interesting things like that. But that might be out of the purview of what we're really trying to do. If we're just trying to get up and running with a My Courses style framework, we're not really going to need to use these very much, but they are there in case you ever need them. In addition to that, you should also be enrolled in a 00 Blackboard Learn training course. Every student is automatically enrolled in this student orientation. It's not mandatory that they complete it, but it is available to them, and this gives you access to see the kind of course that they have available to them. Next, you should see that there are 7 different training courses, getting started all the way down to monitoring student performance. These are available to you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, right there, so that you can pop in there and complete these training. It's not mandatory, but this training is available to you at any point that you would like to log in and check it out. So something else that I would like to call to your attention is the browser test. So it's a good idea once you log into a system for the very first time on any new machine, go ahead and click the Test Your Browser. And what this does is this is going to take a look at your browser and make sure that it's compatible. And you may have some red X's down here under the optional components, and that's okay. What we're looking for is the first 3 check marks. If these are all green, you're good to go. And if not, you'll need to follow the verbiage and instructions that follow behind them to make sure that your system is up to date. So go ahead and run that browser check and then return to My Institution, and you should be good to go here. And really, again, you only need to do that one time on a new machine. After that, you're going to know it's good to go. Inside of this course list here, this is where you're going to find your courses, and they won't appear again until we have gone through Connect You and we have selected them. We've done that process. Then a few hours later they'll appear here. So if you don't see them, just make sure that you have completed that selection process that we discussed before by logging into Connect You. So once your course is here, you're going to take a look and you're going to find it. In this case, I'm going to use a demo for My Courses, but yours would have your actual course title here, something like that, and you would pop in. So go ahead and click on your course, and that's going to bring us inside. From here, we're going to take a look. Now, right up front, this home page has a lot of information that you may or may not want. This is really an aggregator page. It crawls throughout the entire course and finds information for the students and brings it back. Though we probably won't be using this very much for essentially duplicating the functionality of what My Courses used to do. But let me orient you to what's going on here. If we need to return to that course list, we click on My Institution, and that returns us to the course list. And from here, we can navigate to a different section or a different course. And then we just click on it, and we go right back in. So to return to the list is My Institution. If we ever need to change anything inside of the course, we need to enter inside of the course first. So once we're in here, I want to call your attention to this left-hand side, and this is the course navigation menu. This is what students will be able to see, is everything from this line, this course management line above, is what students are able to see. So this is where we're going to spend a lot of time concentrating. There are additional tools down here under course management, and these are really powerhouse tools. And if we're teaching an online course or a hybrid course or flipped course, we'd spend more time down here. But for the purpose of just emulating what My Courses could do, we're going to streamline this course navigation menu down to the core elements that we would need or that we used before. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to begin streamlining. We're going to remove some of these options. So the first question that I would say is, did you use announcements inside of My Courses? If you did, you can leave this tool and you can use this tool to pop in and create announcements, very similar fashion as to what you did in the previous system. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave it because some of us use it and some of us don't. But this is one that you might want to delete. If you do want to delete it, remove it from student view, you would simply click on the action link item and go down to delete. When the delete menu comes up, it's a little bit confusing because we're looking for these buttons here and they say cancel and hide the link, but that's not what we want to do. We actually want to delete the content, and that's over there on the left. It's really just trying to make sure, are you really sure that you want to delete this content? So once we've decided that, we go ahead and click delete and that would disappear. Next we're going to come down here and let's click on syllabus and course information. Inside of here, you're going to start with some example files that are provided for you, such as a start here, a syllabus, your instructor, a schedule, and tech help and plugins pages. If you want to use these, you're more than welcome. And in order to do that, you will hover over the object, go to the action link item, this little down-facing chevron here, give it a click, and then say Edit in Blackboard. So right here we get a Wysiwyg Editor, and this is where we can come in here and say, hello, welcome to my class, and you can customize this information if you would like to pull that in and then present this to your students. And once you're done customizing this and making all the changes that you'd like, scroll down to the bottom and say submit, and then these will each be updated. If you don't want to use these files, you can simply remove them. So like let's say I want to use start here but not the schedule. I have maybe a Word document that I want to upload as a schedule. I'm just going to hover over each item, click on that action link item, and then click delete. And it's going to say, are you really sure? Do you want to delete this? And I say yes, and then it's gone. So schedule is actually it's gone now. It's not in there. So this is again what the students would see, whatever is visible inside of here, when they click on syllabus and course information. This is where that's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and remove a few of these different items. Maybe your instructor, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I don't need this. And I'm going to streamline this down to just the files that I want. And in this case, I'm going to say, you know what, maybe I don't want any of these files, so I'm going to go ahead and delete them. Tech help plugins, I'll leave those there. Maybe students could use those, but everything else I'm going to go ahead and delete. But I do want my syllabus in here, and my syllabus is a Word document that I've been using, or an HTML document, some other format, and I need to get this now inside of the syllabus and course information area. So what I'm going to do is go up to Build Content and down to Create a File. So again, build content, create file. And this functions very similar to My Courses. So when we were in My Courses before, we'd go over to files and then we would say, okay, I want to add a new file, and so I would then say choose the file, I'd select a file, and I'd say go ahead and upload and add that file, and boom, there it's in my course. In the new system, we follow a very similar format. So we're inside of syllabus course information. We go to build content, file. I'm going to give it a name. In this case, I'm going to upload my syllabus. I'm going to browse my computer. I'm going to say syllabus, open, and there it is. The one thing that is really different between My Courses and Blackboard Learn is you can upload the file, but you have to give it a special a name that is unique that's going to be presented to students. So this could be anything I want it to be, and I could give it a different name here. So you just need to remember that you need to enter a name for the students to be able to see this file. So I'm going to scroll down. I have different options inside here that I didn't before, like I can have it open in a new window. I can hide it from users. I can even schedule this to be available only after a certain period or until a certain period, but for the most part we're going to leave most of these options alone, and we're just going to use the defaults. They work just fine, and there it is. So now my syllabus is inside of here, and if I want my syllabus to be at the top, I can just move over, select it, and drag it up, and once it's placed, it's good to go. So again, the process was build, file, select the file, name the file, it goes up, and then we can move it around. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the course calendar. Course calendar is really a no harm, no foul tool. Students get it in other areas of the course or of the learning management system. You can choose to keep it or delete it, and that's really up to you. If you want to remove the calendar, you can. If you want to leave it there, it's really innocuous. It won't cause any harm or complication. Next is content. So if we take a look at content, you can see that again there are a whole bunch of example modules that have been uploaded for you already. And if you click inside of one of these, you can see there are some example files inside of here, and it's the same thing. You can go in and you can edit these if you want to use them and customize them. But if you're looking really just to upload your own content, maybe PowerPoints, lecture notes, reading material, and things like that, you don't need to use any of this. So what you can do is go ahead and just click Content, and right now by default all of these are hidden from students. You can see they're kind of grayed out. Students won't see these. But if they're confusing to you, feel free to go ahead and select that action link item and go down to delete. It's going to ask, do you really want to delete it? And if you do, it's gone. It's perfectly okay to remove these files. You can use them if you want to use them. If not, you can go ahead and delete them, and once they're gone, it's no problem. If you ever need them back, you can actually get these back later on. It's not too painful. So I'm going to go ahead and through the magic of editing, I'm going to go ahead and remove these real fast. We're going to go to Build Content, File. From here, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, how about I upload one of my lectures here. So this is going to be maybe Chapter 2 lecture, and this could be PDF, could be Word document, HTML document, whatever you have. Just leaving those defaults, and there it pops right in there for the student. So now the students can see this, and if you ever need to preview what a student can see, there's this edit mode in the upper right hand corner. If you click from on to off, we can see that we lose the options of those action link items, those little down facing chevrons when we move over things. And this just gives us kind of a preview of what a student would see. So in this case, when I'm looking in content, I see that Chapter 2 lecture is there, everything else is gone. If I click on it, it would actually open up that lecture. So let me go ahead and turn edit mode back on. And then we'll move forward. So again, now we have content. Inside of content, this is where we can upload all of those files just like we used to do under My Courses. Next, let's look at Discussion Board. Discussion Board was very similar to Discussions or Message Board inside of My Courses. If you use it, you can leave it, great. And there's other tutorials on sites.msudenver.edu on using the Discussion Board. You can find those there. And if it's not a feature you use, let's go ahead and remove it for now. So we'll go ahead and click on that action link item. We're going to say delete. It's going to say, do you really want? Yes, we're just going to streamline this course, and we delete that option. So now that's been removed as well. Next, let's look at the course's messages. The course messages is an internal tool, and this is like an email tool, sort of, but it's siloed, it's compartmentalized inside of the course itself. It never goes outside of the course. And so if you use this tool to send a message to a student, they would have to log into the course directly and then go click on the course messages in order to get access to that information. In My Courses, we used email, and that's a different tool, and I'll cover that in just a moment. So for the most part, we're probably going to want to remove this tool. Just go ahead and say delete and take that off, unless you really want to keep everything compartmentalized inside of that course, which means if they respond, you have to log into that course and use that same tool and take a look at it. I would leave that one there. And if not, if we want to use email, very similar to how we did with My Courses, we're going to look at this next tool here, the Send Email tool. And this functions just very, very similar to how email did in My Courses. We clicked on email in My Courses before, we would be able to take a look at our students. We'd be able to select all of them or just a few of them, and then we would send them an email. We would draft that up. This new tool works a very similar way. We click on the Send Email tool. It says, hey, who do we want to do it? We can select individual users, or we can just say all students at one time. If I want to select individual users, I can pull them from a list. I just select them, move them over, give it a subject, welcome to class, whatever we want, enter our subject here, our content here, and then we can even attach files and shoot this off. and then you can also do return receipt and things like that. So this system works just like my courses did before. We can email the entire class. We don't have to wait for class to start. We can go ahead and email them as soon as we get access to the class and students are enrolled. When the students respond, it doesn't go back into Blackboard Learn. It goes to our email accounts, Exchange accounts, and the email goes to the students' official email accounts. At this time, that's a Gmail account. So it'll go out to their actual email accounts, not be stuck inside of the course itself. So that functionality works just like my courses did before. Next is the groups tool, and if we're just using this like my courses did before, we really don't need this groups tool, and we're just going to come down and delete it. If you need additional information on it, there are other tutorials over on sites.msudenver.edu/etc, and you can read about that there. But for this case, we're just going to keep it really simple, and we're going to delete groups. Next is tools. And this gives students kind of a back way to get into a variety of different tools. And there's really a lot of great stuff inside of this new system, but for the most part, we're not going to be using any of this stuff. So for now, let's go ahead and delete this option. So tools is going to go away, just to keep everything simple for us and moving forward. Next is My Grades. Now, My Grades uses the Grade Center from this course. If you're not using the grade functionality of Blackboard Learn, this would be another one you would really want to delete. If you are using the Grade Center, there's some other tutorials and trainings around that you're going to want to take a look at. But for the most part, it's not something that we're going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this for now and remove it. Just I don't use the gradebook online here, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. So help, go ahead and leave. That gives students access to some help information that they're going to want. So right here now we've streamlined it down to the home page, announcements, syllabus, course info, calendar, content, send email, and help. And announcements, even, it's optional. Again, if you don't use announcements, if you choose to do those via email, go ahead and delete announcements just like we have other items. So at this point, let's take a look back at this home page, because when I click on the home page, it constantly comes back to this aggregator page, which I don't necessarily want. So what I want to do is point the students to go to a page that I think they should be looking at every time they come inside of the course. In this case, that's going to be the syllabus and course information area, where I've uploaded my syllabus, maybe my schedule and things like that. That's where every time they come to the course, I want them to see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down under customization, and once we click customization, we only need to do this one time. Under the customization menu, what we're going to go down to is teaching style, and we're going to give that a click. From teaching style, it says select the course entry point. We're going to go and switch it from home page over to wherever we feel students should see whenever they come into the course. It could be announcements if you use announcements. It could be just your content if you want them to see the content every time they log in. Maybe just have a few PowerPoints or something. You could do that. In this case, I'm going to set it to syllabus and course info, because that's what I want them to see every time they come into the course. So I've made that change, and I say submit. And then after I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and test it out by making sure that that happens. So I'm going to click My Institution. I return to my main course list. I'm going to click back on that course, and this time when I come in, excellent, I'm inside of this syllabus and course information. I can see that right up here. I don't have all this crazy stuff that was on the home page. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that home page, because I don't need it. I'm not going to need it there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Once that's gone, there we go. So now my course looks very, very streamlined. And I'm really only going to be interacting with a few features that I used from my courses before, and it's less confusing really for everyone involved if these are the only features that I'm looking for. Now, if I want to use more features, if I'm looking to break into flipped classrooms, or if I'm looking to extend online information and take advantage of these bells and whistles, I can do that. And there's lots of other training out there. Again, that sites.msudenver.edu/etc has lots of great tutorials. There's face-to-face trainings at the Educational Technology Center. There's a variety of options that can happen. But for this case, this gets me up and running in about 15 minutes. And just to show you what this is going to look like to your students, let's go ahead and do a demo here real fast. So this is what it looks like to the student. You can see that it's very streamlined, it's very clean. They don't have all this other information that we as instructors have, but right here they can pop in. When they go into the course, they get the syllabus and course information. If they click on the content, they're going to see whatever content I've put up here. When they click on it, they can either download it or check it out from there. So from that standpoint, that's all we really need to do to get our course up and running. We've streamlined our course menu, we've looked at some of the tools and how to use them, we know how to upload files, and here is one of the greatest features, is that once you have done this once, next semester you won't need to re-upload all of these files. You can copy your previous semester section into your new semester, and we don't have to repeat all of these steps. We can just copy all that information over, and in just very few clicks, it's very similar to how you selected your course for this semester by going into Connect You and saying, okay, copy this course over. That's what we need to do in order to streamline this and use this very similar to how we did with my courses. Thank you very much. Good luck.